Well, it goes back, quite a few years, 28 years or something, but, it's just an honor of being invited here with Augie Greedle. There's a whole story of how I got recruited here in the first place. Augie really wasn't following up on getting me out of Sacramento City College, and I had a lot of coaches recruiting me, Arizona State and Pepperdine and Arizona and Arkansas, and I didn't know how to say no to coaches back then. I think I had 4 letter of intents to go somewhere, verbals, and I remember Jerry Weinstein, my coach at Sacramento City College, had told Augie or called him and said, hey, don't bother pursuing Eddie Delzer. He signed with Arizona State. That day, Augie Greedle came up, took me out of practice, and he had an Angels, like a golf hat on. We thought he was a scout. But they took me out of practice, introduced himself, and as he was talking to me, he finally just said, if you go to Arizona State, he goes, we'll beat you. And just his philosophy, I thought, I said, do you mind if I call my dad because Coach Brock is on his way down there now? He goes, no, here, use my card, and that's when the calling cards were big way back when. So I called my dad, and Coach Brock was there, and I said, Dad, don't sign Arizona State. He goes, why, son? I said, I want to go to Fullerton. He goes, why do you want to do? I said, I want to be closer to you. He goes, okay, son. And I heard Brock in the background saying, you're ruining your son's career. But just the philosophy I'll give, just that positive energy. You go there, we'll beat you. I'm like, okay, you got me. But I wanted to be here. I wanted to be in Southern California. I went to junior college up north and had a great career there. And for Jerry Weinstein to see potential in me as a little left-hander was great. And then for Augie to believe in me and pursue me was fantastic. And to come down here and be, part of the Titan breed and the tradition that's here and to be a part of that. Going back and seeing the people that come back from 70s, 75s, 80s and the 90s, 2000, it's an honor. And for me to be able to throw still, I'm blessed. Been coached by the best. And Augie, bless his heart, I know he's still Titan breed down and through. And Augie and Dave Snow and Vanderhook, I'm so proud of him. He was on our team in '84. Wanted to come out and support him as well. The winning traditions here. I know the coaches with Braun and Curbs and Kirk. Just looking forward to some special times and to continue, as long as I can throw. It's like today, I'm coming out here and you got minor leaguers and pro guys that they're not ready yet. They haven't started spring training. So they asked me if I can kill some. It's like I can kill innings. I just worry about the comebacker. I can see the ball coming. I just can't react to it. I know I'm probably throwing 74 miles an hour. But, to keep the batters off balance, having fun, try not to be too competitive. Like me, I threw 2 balls out there today. But you want to lighten it up. I don't want to be intense. I can't do what I used to do. So you try to have fun and throw strikes. Don't embarrass yourself. Represent. And that's what it's all about. But as far as the family, back in the '84 team, we had guys, it was almost like 4 groups of guys. We started out pretty bad, and I remember Augie Greedle got us all together, and he named, 4 or 5 guys, go over there, you 4 over there, you 4 over there, you 4. And it was kind of how it was. Guys that would miss curfew, guys that, were getting parking tickets, guys that weren't going to class, and then guys that were in the room. And that's how but when it came down to the World Series and the regionals, we just meshed and mended at the right time. And I don't believe we were the best team in the World Series at the time, but we peaked at the right time. So, whether it was me, we all had small guys. Tom Thomas, John Fishel, John Bryant. A lot of the guys that really weren't the top name players really stepped up at that time. And it just worked out. The hard work, it really pays off in the long run. Well, once I decided to come down here, unfortunately, between my sophomore year from Sac City and Cal State Fullerton, my dad got murdered on Christmas Day. And he's my #1 fan, my #1 supporter. I was devastated. He worked at the Long Beach Veterans Hospital. So anytime I'd get an article up in Sacramento through the Sacramento Bee or the school paper, I'd cut the article and send it to my dad so he could brag and be proud of me. Whenever I pitched, it wasn't about me. It was always about my teammates. It was about my dad, being proud. So when I lost him, I didn't have that, anymore. And when Augie and Snowman heard about it, they sent flowers to the funeral. I'm like, touched already. And the whole church thing and the funeral thing, with the preacher telling, now's when people come to God. And I shut down from even the religion for 4 or 5 years. I was thought, really, if there's a God in heaven, why would you take my father on the day Jesus Christ was born? So I was totally turned away from religion. Took me a while to get into that. But getting down here, Augie, got me into the counseling here through the school with Dave Snow's support. And like I was telling you, my junior year I got drafted. I just wanted to get away. I wanted to sign, buy me a car, get some money on a home and just get away. But they said, you know what, you're not ready. You're not ready yet. And I decided to come back and continue the counseling. and to win the World Series and set the school record, that was all great. And you get to further the education and the knowledge of how to deal with the loss of life or a loved one. But again, Augie, I mean, you talk about what we do on the field. I mean, he's more than just a coach. You know, he cared about each individual, and he does still, I'm sure, about them as a person, you know, and be successful in life. So, I mean, I'll be forever grateful to him and Dave for that. Well, the ability and the physical ability is a lot, you know, more physical, I think. I mean, for the most part. Pedroia is a little guy like I was, so when they see the potential and the hunger, you know, you talk about bulldog attitudes. I mean, that's why I like baseball so much. I mean, I couldn't play football because I was too small, couldn't play basketball, too small, but I could play baseball. You know, it was always fair to me. You didn't have to be tall, 6 foot, 6'4", whatever. As long as you can run, catch, you know, it left an opening for you. I know the bats are now kind of equalized to wood bats now, but back in the day, it was just, you know, about the coaching and the leadership in Augie Garrido. I think, all in all, I think players are faster, better, stronger, in my opinion. And just the improvement of the facility, I mean, compared to when we were here. But, you know, it's just an honor to be a part of this tradition. You know, Titan breed forever and continued success here. And they've won 4 national titles, and, you know, we're hoping more, and hopefully Rick will get in here and do a good job.